Well, it's certainly been a rainy 24, really even 48 hours. In fact, over the last 24 hours, most of us have picked up 1 inch to 2 inches, even localized amounts even higher than that. GSP yesterday getting over 2 inches of rainfall, which did in fact break the daily rainfall record. So it has been a very wet period of time for us. So if you are going to be out and about on the roads, be careful because there is still a lot of localized ponding that is taking place. And we're not completely done with the rain just yet. Looking at the big picture here, this is the last bit of that rain. However, it is very steady, especially throughout the first part of today, and then we'll start to see some improvements as we move on into this afternoon. But it is going to come with a major temperature drop. Temperatures throughout the day will continue to fall, and that will come with very breezy conditions, even the small possibility of seeing a few flakes flying. So let's time things out. Periods of steady rain on and off throughout this morning. In fact, it does look likely that we'll start to see some improvements as we get towards the very end of this morning, but even by 9:30. Still looking at possibly seeing a good amount of moisture at this point. Also want to point out what's happening right towards the Tennessee-North Carolina line. Wintry mix, even some flakes beginning to fly. So as those temperatures continue to fall, that's certainly going to be a possibility. Right now appears to be very minimal, but still something we could see on and off throughout the day. Again, higher elevations. Now notice what happens here. Moving into this afternoon, latest guidance that I've been watching actually has us clearing out fairly quickly this afternoon. So yes, it'll be a little bit slow going with the cloud cover once the rain begins to exit, but we might even see a few breaks of sunshine beginning to develop towards this afternoon and into the evening. Not necessarily going to warm us up though. Again, we are going to see a major shift in our temperatures as we move throughout today and the next several days. But elsewhere, looking fairly quiet. Still could see some higher elevation snow beginning to develop yet again late tonight. But for the most part, that's going to be very minimal. And then we've got a lot of sunshine in store for us moving on into our Thursday and even into most of our Friday. As far as rainfall potential, at least at this point, additional rainfall anywhere from about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. So not much more rainfall. We certainly don't need it at this point, but still could see a little bit more continuing to add on up over the next several hours. Snowfall potential, very minimal. We're talking highest elevations of western North Carolina, and notice where it's placed. This is going to be right towards the Tennessee-North Carolina line. That's about the extent of it. So again, not expecting much more rainfall and not expecting much more snow across those higher elevations. But I will say the first part of today is going to be a bit on the messy side, especially with all the rain that has already fallen across our region. So the 4-day looks like this. Morning rain and fog will gradually clear on out this afternoon and into the evening. It will remain very breezy and temperatures will continue to fall throughout the day. Moving into Thursday, we do have a lot of sunshine, so at least it will be beautiful, but temperatures are still going to remain on the chilly side the next several days. And over the weekend, we'll start out fairly quiet, and then we'll increase our rain chances by Sunday, and our temperatures are back on the rise early next week. And after a very wet stretch of weather for us, we are finally beginning to see some improvements across the region, even some breaks of sunshine, a nice sight to see for us. But as we look at the big picture, our live Super Doppler 4, again, much drier weather starting to work on in. That's coming with a major cool down. The winds are picking on up and our temperatures are falling throughout the day. But most of that moisture exiting off to the east. But notice behind that, as that colder air works in, it's also bringing some snow showers across the highest elevations, mainly towards Tennessee, but right along that line of Tennessee and North Carolina. So North Carolina, wouldn't be surprised if you see some higher elevation light snow, very minor, maybe a quick dusting towards the Tennessee line, or even just a few flurries throughout the next several hours. So that will be something that you possibly could see. Elsewhere though, we're seeing some sunshine. So again, beautiful conditions for most of us, but our temperatures have continued to fall all throughout the day. Take a look at this. Greenville, 55 degrees. Most of us are in the 50s. Asheville, where the clouds are locked in, potentially seeing some flurries there, 39 degrees. So temperatures are dropping in a big way. But we have received some very beneficial rainfall over the last couple of days. But Griffin Hardy put this together really remarkable amounts of rainfall since midnight. So most spots picking up several inches of rainfall. Even as we look at some of our totals here, downtown Greenville, almost 3.5 inches of rainfall there. So many of us, beneficial rainfall, fortunately not seeing a whole lot of reports of any flooding. So that's the good news there. But as we head throughout the rest of the day, more sunshine will continue to work across the region. And that is coming with a blast of colder air, though. Again, higher elevations could potentially see another brief spell of a few flurries, again, mainly towards that Tennessee, North Carolina line. Elsewhere, much drier conditions. In fact, that'll set us up for a beautiful start to our Thursday morning, but wow, it is going to feel a lot different out. But you can expect mostly sunny skies, as you can see. Hardly any clouds indicated in our future radar here. And we continue this fairly quiet weather pattern through Friday and into the start of the weekend. But let's fast forward here. Let's push the clock towards Friday. We start to feature a few extra clouds moving on in, still looking nice and dry. Temperatures still a little bit on the chilly side compared to where we've been. But as we move on into the weekend, there is a chance that Saturday we could see a few showers, mainly late in the day Saturday. But it looks like Sunday is going to be the day that has a better opportunity for seeing a few scattered showers on and off throughout the day. I do anticipate some of this breaking apart, and then things will start to clear on out, moving on into early next week. And then that's when we see quite the rise in our temperatures. So the 4-day looks like this. We are gradually clearing on out, becoming very windy and cold. Tomorrow going to be beautiful, but highs will just be in the lower 50s. And then as we move throughout the next several days, we start to feature a few extra clouds, and our next best chance for rain will arrive on Sunday. And then moving on into next week, that's when our temperatures really begin to rise back into the upper 50s to the lower 60s.